I recently worked with a horse that had a pretty old, deep trauma connection to an old injury. And so what happened was he came to us as an off-the-track racehorse. He didn't make it on the track. He was just way too slow. But he had come with an injury of a torn tendon. And so this was a client. This was her second horse that I got to work with her. The interesting part about his response to this was that it only showed up when we asked him to execute the canter on the left lead. So what we did was we decided that we were going to give him a year off, in terms of we weren't going to push it. He would become physically and mentally upset anytime we asked for that lead. He frothed at the mouth. He just visibly, you could tell that it stressed him out. And so he was having a direct connection to the original trauma, thinking it was going to happen again. And of course, if anybody has torn a tendon or Achilles tendon or done any kind of muscle tear, you know that it's an extremely painful experience and you won't forget it. And so, you know, horses hold trauma in their body and their systems just like we do. And sometimes it's a new trauma and sometimes it's deeply rooted. So when we decided to give him the year off, what we meant by that was we were going to implement exercises and training to support his body physically, both the left side and right side, to even him out, to support him under saddle and on the ground. So we did numerous different exercises to encourage him to use the left lead canter, because that's really what he associated the trauma with. So we would put up little cross rails and he would jump them and land on the left lead, and we would make a big fuss of him, and we would do it both ways. So we started to disassociate just the one side and even everything out from a training perspective. And after a year, we were going to come back and reassess where we were. And the interesting part is, as he got stronger and stronger and he started to express himself more evenly on both sides, we would find him cantering off in the paddock on the left lead. He would land on the left lead after a little jump or a little exercise. He would do it on the lunge easily. But the minute we went to ask for the left lead as a strike off from the walk or the trot, that's when his nose showed up and he just couldn't do it. So what I had, working with him, I had come to realize that the reason why he felt that way was when he shot out of the gate, the execution of taking off in the canter was when the tear occurred. So anytime we asked him for the canter, that is when he associated it with the event. And after coming to a place in training where you fully support the body in a physical way from top to bottom, to know that there is no more trauma there's no more heat, there's no swelling, there's no indication of the injury, that now it just becomes the energetic connection to it. So we decided after the year that we were going to come back together, and so what we decided was we were going to just pick a quiet day when nobody was at the facility, and we would spend some time asking him and making a new connection. And so we did, and it took quite a few tries, and which was really important at the moment of execution was, we all know that writing is a silent language, right? So I was very mindful of having very clear thoughts while he was going through the different stages of trying so hard, because he's just got such a kind heart, that I recognized the try, even though we didn't get it every time, that the try was enough, because I was asking him to dissociate from an extremely traumatic event that he had held onto for a long time. So every time that I asked him for the canter and he got it, I truly plugged in to the visual of him getting over the old trauma and that it wasn't going to hurt anymore. And this was very critical in asking him to move past that and into something new. And so that was our journey. Happy to say that he is continued on his journey, and he no longer associates the left knee canter with a trauma anymore, and I don't even think he thinks about it anymore. But it was critical for us to understand how the trauma happened so that we were able to support him emotionally and mentally and physically to get through it and to have a different experience from the one that he was holding on to.